Okay, it's April the 12th and COVID restrictions are now allowing us to get away. So this is our first night away in the van on a campsite. It's a Bath Chew Lake. We're not really campsite people, as you may well know, but needs must this time of year. Anyway, this is the back of the van. I'm just going to go through some changes we made and some updates since the last time. We've sort of finished this off a little bit more. So we've put on edging strips along here, for instance, where we can climb on and not damage the wood, and just trim some plastic PVC around the various edges. The toilet cassette exits in here, so as you can now see, we've boxed this in. So inside here we have the toilet cassette entry, we have kitchen roll, we have disinfectant wipes and chemical. We've also got a stopcock in there for this external shower, so you can basically plug an external shower in there and wash our feet with sand off the beach, whatever we might need to do. Incidentally, another toilet cassette will sit here, so we can carry a spare for long trips. Most things in here are designed, that one was completely luck. The gas locker, we're currently still running Cala. My next job is to install the gassed system, which will mean we won't need to take the front off very often, but obviously there will be times, and now you can see we can't actually get a bottle inside the gas locker. So as you can see on here, we've got a line here, so just a couple of screws and this entire thing can come out to allow us to access the gas locker. We'll also put a door in here that can hinge down, so we can put our hands in to turn the gas bottle on and off without having to move anything out of the way. And obviously we've got the Aldi bubble leak gas detector in the back, so we'll use that as well. We still need to finish lining the inside of the garage on the sides, and that's again another to-do job. We've got the fridge on, so you can now see the back of the fridge is at 16 degrees. If it gets warmer, the fan will cut in, and we've added another vent at the top just to allow airflow. These are our ramps, and we've got two outside chairs, the diesel or the kerosene in here for the fuel heater. We've currently got Mel's scooter, and obviously a couple of bikes and helmets, and just some clothes thrown in the back. So there's plenty of room in the garage for everything we need to do, just needs some finishing off work. Outside we've fitted the awning feet, and this is the rear one. This one, more by luck than judgment, it actually goes into there's a double bit of skin inside the van here, and it taps into that, which is very, very lucky. It doesn't go into the lighting corner, so we're able to put some bolts through with washers around the back. The front one is slightly different. It obviously has to go above the fuel cap, and the angles are quite tight, but it works quite well. But the bodywork here is quite thin, so what we were able to do was remove this grommet and inside drop in a bit of 3mm aluminium plate and bond it to the rear of this section, pre-drilled, so we could actually put some self-tappers into that and into the 3mm aluminium as well, so it's a lot stronger than it should be. We've also added an external light. This is just using the same profile we had on the LED lighting board, and so the wire just goes up over the top there, again into we've got a wiring box on the roof for all the solar wires, and that seems to be okay. On another note, we've added some voltage regulators to the lighting circuits, so we're now getting a constant 12 volts rather than whatever's being thrown at them being charged. The winter screen covers, these are the ones from Magnum. I actually quite like them, they're pretty good. They've got the clips that go around the door so this doesn't flap, the usual Velcro around the mirrors, and then magnetic bits around the bonnet to stop it moving, and it covers the air vents quite nicely. The front obviously zips down, and a couple of prestors just to hold it down. The only downside is it doesn't roll up very well, you've got to pack it in quite nicely. Inside the van we've put a little electric radiator in the front, which is just 800 watts on a thermostat, so that will keep the cab warm, because obviously the cab's the coldest place because it's not very well insulated, so overnight that will just be ticking over, keeping us warm. We won't bother closing our curtains. Inside we've got a projector bracket here, so I might do a video later when we're watching a movie, so we can actually watch a full movie there. Inside we've made some minor changes. We've made the cupboards with various sections and shelving, so that everything is now boxed in, so there's no wires on view. The cutlery is all in this dishwasher type thingy. It's got some carpet behind so it doesn't rattle. Inside we've obviously got the pull out for the china and a couple of cups, and then in here we've got a pull out here which you can take out with salt, peppers, and all our spices. A couple of beer glasses around the corner, and some more glass cups at the top, and that's where the tea and coffee go. Now we do have some electrics in this section here, so all this is actually, as you can see, just comes out, so it all comes apart easily and we can access the electrics if need be. Saucepans, frying pan go underneath. The other cupboard, we've got, there you go, making space, beautiful space. We've got a chopping board that drops in here. We've got a knife block, so next time I go through customs, have you got any weapons and knives? No, just don't open the cupboard. And gas kettle and the bottles and boxes. So we've got 4 of these big boxes here, so when we go away for big trips we can stock up nicely. The fridge is massive, we're quite happy with that. Got quite a bit of beer in there for later. The bathroom, made some changes in here as well. We've put a curtain rail in for the shower curtain. At the side of the door, I didn't really want to trust it for being waterproof, so I put a shower curtain in, and we've put some pegs on rails. So, for instance, when we have a shower, we can hook the towel across both and actually just have it drying in here without actually being hooked over, so it'll dry quicker. So the shower curtain is just waterproof, the cheap one, so we can dispose of it if it gets manky. Obviously co-hooks on there. And the same sort of thing, we've just boxed in the shelving. What else have we done? Oh yeah, we've put we've got a foam fire extinguisher in here. Now this is one where we've got this clip, so in an accident this can't just ping off the clip here. It'd be quite a deadly missile. We need to flick this for the travel clip to come out, and then we can attack any fires that we may see fit. Also in the garage we've put a second smoke alarm, because if we if you have a fire in the garage we may not actually know about it till it's too late. But pretty much that's us. We're ready to go. It's full of water. We'll be testing the shower over the next couple of days, and everything else as well. One of our luxuries in the van was a little present I bought when we finished, which is this little movie projector, which clips on the underside of the cupboard, basically behind the driver's seat, and it projects onto a screen that's connected over the sliding door. So that image is about 50 inches diagonal, and at the top we've got the sound system, which is Bluetooth, and it all integrates into there. So connecting the laptop, we can play a movie, and this is red, and here it is. So pretty good, very watchable. So we're now going to settle in for the night.
Hey, Frank, what's going on?
So we're back from the first trip, so just a very quick overview of how it went and what we need to change. Bottom line is everything really worked really well, so I'm very pleased about that. The layout works, the bed and sofa is really comfortable. To be honest, best I've had in a van. The shower works really well, and the kitchen area is fine. The fridge was great. The solar, we turned off the mains power and just ran it on solar, and the solar kept it fully charged, running fridge, lights and everything else. The projector was fantastic once I'd focused it properly. So yeah, sitting down sort of up in bed watching a movie, it was just as good as home, so really good. But some of the changes that we're going to need to do, and some of them not mistakes, but mistakes. On the step when you get in, your feet sometimes scuff along here, so I've now fitted some invisible see-through helicopter tape, the same stuff we had behind the door rail. And now if you scuff on there, we're not going to scuff the paintwork. How long that'll last I don't know, we may need to change it, who knows. The pump and dump worked really well. The amount of water we had was fine, but what I found is we went from green, which is full, to 2 yellows fairly quickly, after washing up and wash and that sort of stuff. But it dropped from 2 yellows to 1 yellow really early and then stayed on 1 yellow. So what that actually means is I cut one of the probes and the CB fitting a little bit short, so I'm going to now need to modify that, which is a bit of an annoyance, but that's life. The shower, the bathroom worked really well. I mean, I can't really complain. There's much more room in here to stand and wash than we've had in our first van, and it dries down really quickly. One thing I'm going to need to change is, as you can see, the tap is a tap and a shower head, so you can put the tap on, set your mixer right, and then you can use the trigger, squirt when you want water. In the first van we had a similar setup, and what happened was when you then squirted and then stopped, the next squirt was scalding because some of the cold water had gone down the hot pipe. No, wrong way around. Some of the hot water had gone down the cold pipe, so when you squirted you got double hot, just for a fraction of a second, but it was annoying. So in this van I fitted a non-return valve on the cold to stop that happening. But for some reason on this one, when you stop the squirt, you get a little dip in temperature as you get a bit of double cold, so the cold is just being pushed down the hot pipe. Now whether this is because the boiler's different or we have the accumulator, I don't know. Mel didn't really care, but to me it wasn't perfect, so we're going to stick another non-return valve on the hot pipe, just so that on the mixer, when you turn the trigger off, when you then resume, they're exactly the same temperature. The only design fault we've got in the van, which Mel wouldn't even comment on, but I think we could have done better, is when we're washing or cleaning our teeth in here, there's not a lot of room to sort of spit into the sink or whatever. The tap gets in the way. In hindsight, if I saw somebody else say this, I would do it, but a bit late now. But what we could have done is had the shower mounted on we could have done a bit of ply across here, edged with the same edging, and cover the sinkhole, actually have the tab slightly further back, so we just had the nozzle pointing over the sink, which would have given us more room, and again it could have been a little bit higher as well. That would have made it better than it is today. But for me to do this now, I need to take this off, redo the whole front, box in this section and the rest of it. Not being funny, it's not bothering me that much, but if I was reviewing the van, I would say in its current, the current thing, it doesn't get 10 out of 10. Had this been here, would have been better. I mean, of course, this does come out, and we can hook it up, and I could put a hook here, for instance, but we're just not going to do that. The racks and stuff, they work really well. Nothing jumped out or rattled in there either. So they're really the only changes we need to make. The only other comment is the freeze box in the fridge, which is the C60i, is obviously we need to defrost it, is a really thick one, so it's very well insulated, so that got down to really low temperatures. I would say -20 or so. It was as good as a home freezer, so that's a vast improvement on the first van we had. And the only final comment is the Heki. We did buy a non-vented one, but we changed it. So we bought a vented one, we changed it to a sealed vented one because the skylight rattled, which is funny. In our last vans it never did. Maybe, who knows? But obviously it doesn't rattle now. But overnight, the first night, it was obviously very cold, probably 1 degree outside, and it's nice and snug in here. We did get a tiny bit of condensation on here, and even around here, just a bit, not a lot, a kitchen roll sheet's worth. And we did get a bit on the windows as well, which we've never seen on plastic before. So the second night we just put this on the lowest vent setting, and just had it open all night for ventilation, and there's no condensation anywhere at all. So we're going to need to keep that open. I'm sure people do that normally, but we're not used to it because our skylights are normally vented. And the kitchen one is vented, permanently vented, but obviously it's not above the bed. So that may have been the reasons why. So hopefully some learning points there. Hopefully you can learn from us. Don't cut your probes too short. Think about your sink placement, and think about your ventilation. Okay, now we've just got some more work to do on the van, and ready for the next trip, which will hopefully be nice and sunny like it is today. Thanks guys, bye.